that we get here every afternoon. We have more than 300,000 people leaving the San Juan metro area, because every morning we have traffic jams here that rival those that you would find at the Kennedy Turnpike or the Santa Monica Freeway. Okay, we have a lot of people coming to work to the San Juan metro area from all points in the island.
You take picture with Obama?
Manny, how far? Where is
President
Carolina
Obama,
in
right?
relation?
We're
เรื่อง
going
ของเขา
there.
ถ่ายกล้องอยู่ครับ
We're going to the municipality of Carolina, which is for our second and much larger strip of hotels that we have here. And then after that, we'll be coming back through the highway, and we'll be dropping you out of your ship. But we're going to be coasting all the way for both of our strips of hotels that we have here in Puerto Rico.
See, this is a certain tree. Look at this. Big flower. They had him down here. Was that the bio?
The main attractions in Puerto Rico are, of course, the beaches. We have in Puerto Rico 5 blue flag beaches, which is the highest standard for a beach in the world. Hawaii has only 3. We got one, you can walk in there for a quarter of a mile, and that water will always be at your waist. Take a look on the left-hand side. This was the first school of tropical medicine anywhere in the world. It was founded by Dr. Bailey Ashford, a U.S. Navy physician that came here in 1898 with the U.S. forces. And then this is the statue here of Mr. Rafael Hernandez Marin Plaza, and he wrote down one of our very famous songs. And on the left-hand side, we have one of the many armories and officers club of the Puerto Rican National Guard. Here on the right, we have a typical Puerto Rican mountain man mounted in his caballo, and his sacks are full of plantains, and also pana, the round things, are the breadfruits, and he is taking them to the market to be sold. We have over 289 species of trees here in Puerto Rico. Here on the left-hand side, the first weather station the U.S. built here in the year 1910. Take a look at the entrance facade. Take a look at those 2 eagles. You don't see eagles built like that anymore anywhere back in the United States. The island of San Juan is very crowded. We have the ocean about 1 block at the end of this building. There's the ocean, and the bay is just a block and a half on the right-hand side. Very narrow little islet, and right on the outside of it, we have a lot of reef. It's made San Juan almost impregnable. Now, this building on the left-hand side here is a very exclusive retirement home ran by Spanish nuns that fled here at the start of the Spanish Civil War. They have a beautiful church inside. It's a beautiful basilica inside. And boy, do they run a tight ship. The place is so clean inside, it's just amazing. Then after this, the entire next block is the old monastery of St. Augustine, built in 1690, rebuilt again in 1916. Today it is a private high school and grade school. The church is very similar to Notre Dame. If you look at it, we're going to go right in front of it. It has the same rituals as Notre Dame, but without the gargoyles, because they thought them to be diabolical, the Spanish. This was the last bastion of the Spanish Inquisition. The last person to be burned at the stake here was in 1797. Now, if you look up ahead, and on the left-hand side, you're going to see the gas prices here. You're going to be surprised by those numbers that you see. That's $1.06 per liter. Everything gets tested here for the United States, and that system now is being tested here for the U.S. And that's about the only place where it works. Okay. because people have to use gas. Even the fast food gets tested here for the United States. For example, Subway's here, they're serving a hot omelet on a hot plate for breakfast with fresh vegetables right in front of your eyes. You don't have that back in the United States. The GPS was done in a rainforest here. And also the RH factor studies were also done here in Puerto Rico. The main attraction here, it is of course our rainforest. It's on the easternmost tip of the island. And our weather, that weather that you saw up in the mountains is not just regular weather as you would find other places in the world. That haze that you saw up in the mountains is actually the dust from the Sahara that we get here very frequently, 2,700 nautical miles off the Cape Verde Islands from the Sahara Desert in Africa.
Wow.
Picture the island of Puerto Rico on the world map. Just picture it in your mind. All that weather comes in all the way from Africa, and the first large landmass it hits is the easternmost tip of the island. And on that area, we get 200 to 240 inches of rain every year. That's why we have the most luscious tropical rainforest in the entire U.S. forest system. In fact, it's the only tropical rainforest in the U.S. forest system. Next time you come, you will find the tallest ferns in the world, taller than any of these electric poles, and yet they're ferns, and also the smallest orchid in the world. They're both in the Guinness Book of Records. And here on the left, the old U.S. Navy radio station. We used to have U.S. Navy's largest base in the world on the easternmost tip of the island, the largest one outside of Norfolk, Virginia. And on the westernmost tip of the island, we used to have U.S. Air Force largest SAC base in the world outside of Edwards Air Force Base. A lot of nukes here during the Cold War. They're all gone now. We're going to be using both landing strips as international airports in the future. We're planning on opening both ends of the island for tourism. Right now, the harbor can only handle 12 ships at one time. They're going through a big renovation process. We'll be able to handle about 20 ships here in the future.